As a Christian, it's essential to approach the topic of global warming with a critical and discerning perspective, recognizing that the narrative presented by mainstream media and politicians may not be entirely accurate. The concept of global warming, also known as climate change, has become a highly politicized and polarizing issue, with many Christians feeling pressured to conform to the prevailing views. However, it's crucial for Christians to examine the facts, evaluate the evidence, and consider the motivations behind the global warming agenda. One of the primary ways Christians can fight back against the fake global warming agenda is by seeking truth and knowledge. This involves looking beyond the sensationalized headlines and sound bites, and instead, diving into the scientific research and data. Many reputable scientists and experts have raised concerns about the methodology and conclusions drawn by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) and other prominent climate organizations. Christians should be aware of these alternative perspectives and consider the possibility that the science is not as settled as they are led to believe. Another approach is to examine the underlying motivations and agendas driving the global warming narrative. It's essential to recognize that the push for climate action is often tied to broader ideological and political goals such as socialism, global governance, and population control. Christians should be cautious of any movement that seeks to undermine individual freedoms, national sovereignty, and traditional values. By understanding the underlying drivers of the global warming agenda, Christians can better navigate the complex web of interests and alliances that shape the public discourse. Christians can also fight back by promoting a more nuanced and balanced understanding of environmental stewardship. While the Bible teaches humans to care for and manage the earth's resources, Genesis 1:28, it does not support the extreme and alarmist views that characterize the global warming movement. A more thoughtful and biblically informed approach to environmentalism recognizes the importance of human flourishing, economic development, and technological innovation in addressing environmental challenges. By promoting a more balanced and sustainable approach to environmental stewardship, Christians can help to counter the extremist rhetoric and policies that often accompany the global warming agenda. Furthermore, Christians should be aware of the ways in which the global warming agenda is being used to undermine traditional values and promote a secular, humanistic worldview. The emphasis on climate change as a moral imperative, for example, often involves a rejection of biblical teachings on human nature, sin, and redemption. Christians should be cautious of any movement that seeks to supplant the gospel with a secular, earth-centered spirituality. By standing firm on the teachings of Scripture and promoting a biblical worldview, Christians can help to counter the spiritual and philosophical underpinnings of the global warming agenda. In addition, Christians can fight back by supporting organizations and initiatives that promote sound science, critical thinking, and balanced environmental policies. This may involve partnering with think tanks, research institutions, and advocacy groups that challenge the dominant climate narrative and promote more nuanced and evidence-based approaches to environmental stewardship. By supporting these efforts, Christians can help to create a more diverse and inclusive public discourse, one that values critical thinking, intellectual honesty, and biblical wisdom. Finally, Christians should recognize the importance of prayer and spiritual warfare in addressing the global warming agenda. As a spiritual battle, the fight against the fake global warming agenda requires a deep understanding of the enemy's tactics and a commitment to prayer and intercession. Christians should pray for discernment, wisdom, and courage as they navigate the complex and often treacherous landscape of climate politics. By praying for a spirit of truth and a love of wisdom, Christians can help to expose the deception and misinformation that often characterize the global warming agenda, and instead, promote a more nuanced, balanced, and biblically informed approach to environmental stewardship.